Good morning. So I thought I'd have a bit of an easier weekend this weekend because I've overdone it a little bit in my new job, but I thought I'd go around the garden. I appreciate all the new growth that's coming up. So this has been dormant all winter, but finally the ferns are starting to break through the surface and it's lovely seeing them all starting to uncurl. Problem is I'm starting to see things that I don't want to be growing. There's laurel seedlings in here, there's brambles in here, but the one that's concerning me the most is this one here, which is bracken. So I was doing a bit of research on it. Bracken is actually a fern. I didn't think it was. I thought it was a completely different species, but no, bracken is a fern. Now, you might look at that and think, well, that's only small, I don't know what you're worried about. The problem is, bracken gets big. It gets very big. So, last year when I did a walk around of my land here, there's a section over in the corner over there, which was as tall as I am. So, it can grow up to 6 foot. It can shade out absolutely everything around it. Like some conifers, it puts down chemicals that can kill off the plants around it. And when it dies off, it creates this brown mat of plant life over the surface, which stops other stuff from growing as well. So eventually, that will just continue to spread and take over the entire area. Now, there is a lot of bracken in the garden. Most of it was over there under the power lines and at the other end up there. But going around, I've seen it popping up all over the place. So, yeah, I've got to do something about this. So to make it easier to understand what I'm dealing with, I've dug up one of the bracken plants here. So as you can see, everything that was green was what was above the soil. Everything that's brown is what was below the soil. So bracken can spread by spores like ferns. But unlike ferns, where it goes to an individual plant and that one plant grows and that's it, bracken is all connected underneath the ground. So it has these thick rhizomes here. Now these can spread for several metres before the plant itself pops up. So it's a bit like a mushroom. The roots spread out underneath the ground here, and then just bracken pops up every now and again. So when you're tackling it, you're not just tackling this one plant, you're tackling an area. So that makes it a little bit more difficult. Now, with these roots, although they're quite chunky, you can't just pull them out. They are quite brittle, so as you pull, it has a tendency to snap off. So that makes it harder. Now, there's various ways you can treat bracken to get rid of it. There are weed killers that you can use. Unfortunately, the most popular one was banned from sale in the UK in 2011. So most people say the other weed killers that are available don't actually work. The other thing you can do is to just repeatedly break the top off of it. So you can plough it, that breaks up the rhizomes underneath the ground, takes the tops off of it. Obviously I can't do that here, I've got all the laurel. Same as mowing it. You could mow it on a regular basis. Again, I can't do that here because I've got stuff I want to keep. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to do it the manual way. So you can do what's called bracken bashing, which is literally you just beat the plant. You can go around with a stick and just bash it to snap the top off. But the green here, that photosynthesizes, that is putting energy back into the roots. So you want to get rid of as much of this green as possible. So the easiest way to do it is to just pull it. So this is a piece of bracken here. So what you want to do, you reach right down near the base, give it a firm grip and just pull. So that snaps that off the rhizome underneath. So now none of this is putting nutrients into that rhizome. So if we could just carry on over the area and put them all out. So that one snapped nearer the top, but I pulled the bottom bit out as well. So now that area, the rhizome in that area, has no nutrients, so it has to put new shoots up. So it's taking the energy out of those rhizomes to put new shoots up. So hopefully, if you keep doing that, you will kill it. So yeah. So although I say I've cleared that area there, you always miss some, especially when they're small like this. And like I say, the bracken is going to continue trying to put shoots up because it needs nutrients, it needs the light, so it needs to put the bracken part up out the ground to get that nutrients. If you keep going through it, if you persevere and keep taking the top out of it, eventually you are going to weaken the plant. Now, obviously with the garden here, there's a lot of stuff that I need to take out. I can't do it all in one go because it is a real challenge. I've been taking the laurel out, I've been taking the holly out, I've been taking the brambles out, I've taken the bracken out. So everything, I'm just going to keep pushing out from the middle and keep pushing it off to the sides, and eventually it's only going to be in the neighbouring land around me, but hopefully I'll keep it down in the middle. So yeah, let's spend some time pulling bracken and seeing how much I can collect. So there you go, as you saw, it didn't take long to clear that section, but yeah, not a lot to see really, so I'm not going to bother recording it all, but yeah, that's what I'm up to this weekend. I'm going around trying to pull out the bracken so it doesn't take over too much. Now obviously if you are pulling bracken, do be careful, because the tops of these are quite soft and brittle. When you get near the bottom, they tend to get a bit stronger, and that can, especially as the plant gets older, actually cut you, so you've got to be careful with that. And disposal of it, well, you can compost it, but treat it like a conifer. There are chemicals in it that can disturb other plants, so I wouldn't put it on your own compost bin. Obviously just put it somewhere that it can rot down. But yeah, so if I find anything else interesting, I'll add it into this video, but for now I'll end this video here. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you later. Well, it's a couple of months later, so I thought I'd give an update on how it's going. So I initially started pulling the bracken back in April. It is now June and it's still going. So yeah, I've been out every single weekend. I've been through pretty much the entire area. It's taken me about an hour every weekend to go through and pull out as much bracken as I can find, but it is still coming back. So every weekend I'm going down and I'm pulling the bracken, and I've got to the stage now, I'm not taking it with me, I'm literally just chucking it, leaving it to dry out. But yeah, so it does get quite irritating thinking you're just going along doing the same thing every single weekend, just constantly going around and pulling out bracken from everywhere. But it is allowing light down, so the mosses and things are starting to grow. However, there is also the positive thing. So obviously this area, I can still see bracken, it is turning up absolutely everywhere. However, if I wasn't pulling it, it would look like this area down here. Now this section, I've gone down to about here, and then I've stopped. I've not worked my way all the way down here. But as you can see, there's a lot of bracken here. And if we just venture down into it, it's a little bit tricky because it's on the slope. But yeah, this is an absolute mass of bracken, and I can't even walk through it that well. So yeah, this is what the garden would look like if I hadn't pulled the bracken. So it is certainly doing something. But the other thing is, if we come down here to the bottom of the bracken, you can see there are multiple bracken stems. They're all quite close to each other. So I think what I'm doing is I pulled, say, that one, and then that one's grown slightly later, and I pulled that one, and then that one's grown slightly later. So I think I might be winning. Only time will tell. So although I don't feel like I'm actually getting anywhere, obviously seeing sections like this, I know I am doing something, so it is worth persevering. So if I can ever find my way back out here, I'm going to go and carry on pulling the bracken, and eventually one of us has got to win, and I'm hoping I'm going to be more persistent than the bracken itself. But yes, I'm going to end this video here. I will probably do an update next year on it, because obviously I can't guarantee. Obviously it's going to stop growing at some point, but it might start again in the spring next year. So yeah, if it does, I'll give an update then. If not, then I can continue on to another area to start clearing that. So for now, I'm going to spend more time putting bracken. I shall see you later.